I want to know what you think about this. Retirement is overrated, according to Gen Z, as soft saving trend takes hold. New CNBC article just dropped a couple of days ago. Generation Z is taking a more relaxed approach to their long-term financial security. According to a recent study, the so-called soft saving trend is about living in the moment with less emphasis on retiring early or none at all. So I was reading through this article. A recent prosperity index study by Intuit pulled out this data. They studied young new adults, age 18 to 25. And this is the statement here that's fascinating to me. They are more interested in experiences that promote personal growth and emotional well-being. They're less interested in saving for retirement. And so this trend, the so-called soft saving trend, is, quote, the soft life's answer to finances. I don't know what they mean by that. But they're contrasting soft saving to the FIRE movement, which is financial independence, retire early if you don't follow that. And then they interview a financial advisor at the bottom who thinks this is crazy. You should be investing for retirement. So I'm going to tell you what I think about this trend, because I think this is fascinating, and I would love to know your take. Look at what's happened. You have my grandparents' generation. I think they're called the greatest generation. I'm sure there's another name for that generation, the one before the baby boomers. And they retired well historically because of a confluence of crazy circumstances where their house values soared because all their kids, this baby boom generation that all needed to buy houses. So the demand for housing was huge around the time when my grandparents' generation was retiring. So they were able to sell their houses for way more than they paid for them in a crazy amount of time. So their return on their investment was really, really high. And they most of the time had pensions for the companies they worked for. So they had Social Security, guaranteed income from retiring from their company from 40 years of work, and a ton of equity when they sold their house and downsized in Florida, like where I live. So that generation, my grandparents' generation, crushed. Then you've got my parents' generation, the baby boomers, which had the more traditional save for your own retirement. This is the era of 401ks and IRAs, where there were very few pensions and you had to save for your own retirement. My parents retired a couple of years ago. No one's paying for their retirement, a little bit of Social Security in the US, but you had to save for your own retirement. It's a mixed bag. Some people saved enough and they're doing okay. Some didn't and they're not doing okay. Then you have the Gen X and millennial generation. I'm a millennial. And in the last 15 years, you saw people reacting. Everything's a reaction. You saw people reacting to 2008, 2009. What was it? The global recession. If you weren't old enough to live through that, it was awful. Like people thought it was the end of the world. And so you saw retirement accounts wiped out. You saw people's housing values go down. And so my generation, and maybe the one right above me, Gen X, I'm an older millennial, my generation said, screw waiting to 65 for retirement. I'm going to retire early. And so this huge movement of I'm going to work as a job that pays as much as possible. And a lot of times I'm not loving that job. And I'm going to basically save 50 to 80% of my income for 10 to 15 years, not have any fun, not travel, not do anything, say no, so that I can speed up the timetable so that I can retire at age 35, 40, 45, 50 and have a lump sum of money that's spitting off interest that I can live off of for the rest of my life. That was a movement, still is. And then now you have Gen Zs saying, forget that. I'm not even going to worry about retirement at all or just a little bit. I'm going to focus on living in the moment. It's not quite YOLO because it is still saving a bit for the future, but it's not prioritizing the future for the sake of the moment. I think this is fascinating. Obviously, the Gen Zs are reacting to the current financial climate we're in. It's really expensive right now. Inflation is crazy high. Housing prices are crazy high, and mortgage rates are crazy high, almost 20-year highs, if not 20-year highs. Rent's high. Eggs are expensive. Gas costs a lot. Everything costs more, and wages haven't kept up. They're looking at this situation like this is impossible. So they have to find a way to not hate their lives. And so it's forcing them to rethink some things. And I don't think that they're off. I actually think that they're onto something. So here's what's fascinating to me. The FIRE movement, these people will defer fun for 10 to 15 years, defer living their best life so that they can retire early. So that what? So they can go do whatever they want to do. What's crazy to me is that most of these people who retire early become podcasters, YouTubers, and content creators like me, telling other people how to do what they did. They basically create an online business, which they didn't have to wait 10 to 15 years to do. They could have done that from day one if they had the guts to quit their job, and that's a little risky. Certainly, it's nicer to have guaranteed income from your investments before you start your business, but they didn't have to defer 10 to 15 years to start the business. They never really retired anyway. Most people don't actually retire when they say they're retired early. They just quit a job, and now they work for themselves. Friend, you can quit a job and work for yourself today. You don't need to wait for that. That's what's crazy to me. So I think all these four generations, whether it's the greatest generation, the boomers, the Gen X, the millennial, the Gen Z, is really 5 generations. I think we're all looking at the same problem and we're all going about it with a different solution. And I think we all have a piece of the puzzle. So here's my take. I think if you wait till your 60s to enjoy your life, your golden years, you are missing the point. You might not make it to 60. And those certainly aren't your golden years. You're not going to have as much health or as much opportunity. You won't have your kids with you under your roof. Like, now are your golden years. Like, these are the best years of your life, in the sense that, like, they're the only ones that are a guarantee. So I think deferring to your 60s doesn't make any sense. I think deferring for 10 to 15 years and sacrificing your life so that you can retire early doesn't make any sense, because, again, you might drop dead the moment you retire. And then you're going to realize you don't actually want to retire. You just wanted to retire from the job you were at and work on something you actually believe in, and have more flexibility and ownership of your time, and have a little bit more income potential, and no one telling you when or you can or cannot go on vacation. Like, that's just called quitting your job and starting a business. You can do that today. I also, though, don't think you should YOLO. I don't think you blow all your money now and never save for the future, because future you is going to regret that. Future you is going to say, man, I wish I would have saved some money because I don't want to work as much, or I want to change careers, or I want to work for a nonprofit, or I just want to volunteer my time and work hard all week, but I don't want to charge for it. I want to be able to volunteer at my church or the soup kitchen downtown. I still need to pay my bills. I think we need to borrow from all of these generations and create a new plan. I don't know what to call it yet. Maybe you can help me figure it out. I think you're on this earth for a purpose. I think you have gifts, abilities, talents, and passions and interests and dreams that could all, if you just embrace them, help a ton of people and make you a ton of money. Because when you have a lot of impact, the income always comes, right? Income flows from impact. So if you could just get honest with yourself and focus on creating a career or a business that you love, you're going to never want to retire from it. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to wait for happiness or defer your life plan. You can enjoy it today. You don't have to worry about saving up a crap ton of money because you get paid every single month from your own business. But I would also save. I would also save for the future. You look at this article, the very bottom, you've got this financial advisor that says, as a wealth advisor, my radar goes up when I read about people not saving. People should save and take advantage of compound interest. She says, young adults have a significant advantage of time when it comes to saving for long-term goals such as retirement. I don't think the goal should be retirement, but I do think compound interest in wealth building is real. So I think you need to enjoy your life today, and you do that by quitting whatever you're doing that you don't like, making a new plan and starting something new, building a business, following your dream. You can make a living doing anything in this world. You do that today. You win today by doing the work you're meant to do, and you win tomorrow by saving for the future. So it's a both and. It's a both and. So I just thought I should share. I would love to know in a comment below, what do you think about the soft saving trend? Where do you land on the retire early, retire later, save hard, save little, save none at all? Enjoy life now, enjoy life in the future. Where do you land on that spectrum? Let me know your thoughts and your experiences in the comment below, and we'll keep discussing.